Welcome back to the Ballroom Chats podcast, where I'm your host, Cool Water, the digital dope man. Tonight's tour guide for another episode in the Ballroom Chats podcast, where we discuss topics in the area of business, politics, culture, education, health, and a few other things at times. You just never know. But typically, those are the main areas that we focus on. Tonight, I want to delve into the sports arena and talk about sports, business, and education. I just happened yesterday to run across a video that was being played on YouTube called Back in the Game, featuring Evander Holyfield, Marcus Lomminus, and executive producer, creator Alex Rodriguez, former Baseball Hall of Famer for the New York Yankees. The program is based around Alex Rodriguez taking defunct, broke athletes, so far that what I've seen, and helping them get back in the game financially. Many of you probably have noticed Alex Rodriguez has lately been on the Shark Tank as a shark, doing investment deals, business deals, and really establishing himself as a business phenomenon, a business investor phenomenon in the business world. You also know Alex Rodriguez to be dating Jennifer Lopez, who herself is well established in the entertainment industry as a musician, actor, actress, clothing designer, producer, perfume developer, yada, 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 yada. That is what Jennifer Lopez is. And somewhere along the line, I believe she has netted herself a $400 million net worth from what I'm understanding. The reason why I felt like I needed to jump on the mic once again is because the premise of the show that Alex is doing, which is good, I mean, it's entertainment if you into that type of stuff, is in this particular situation with Evander Holyfield, it shows once again the dichotomy of black ignorance, lack of business acronym, and the right coming up around the right people. So Alex seeks out Evander, and he's about to help restore Evander's brand. So as the show progresses, you know, they talk about the bad choices that Evander made. I think he invested in some barbecue sauce. I remember he had the Holyfield, Real Deal Holyfield record label. He invested in some black television program. He invested in, he had a set of fire extinguishers. He had a set of some type of fryer for food. He bought that mansion for $20 million. He got 11 kids. So dude ain't been the wisest puppy in the box. But he's not the only one. Mike Tyson lost a lot of his fortune and the money was being stole the same way that Evander said the money was being stole from him. Probably Floyd Mayweather may be the only cat that really is solidified with his wealth. A lot of them dudes, they go broke. And that's by design. Because you have accountants, lawyers, business managers, trainers, and all these other people sucking the life out of you. They get rich and you grow poor. Basketball, a lot of them dudes. Allen Iverson, he lost a lot of his fortune. The list goes on and on and on. So Alex Rodriguez sat down, he talked to Evander Holyfield, found out what the issue was, found out what the reasoning was behind him losing $200 million. And then they began to trek into the world of business to restore Evander Holyfield's brand. The real deal Holyfield brand. No problem. Great opportunity for Evander Holyfield. Alex Rodriguez seems genuinely concerned about building Evander Holyfield's brand, reuniting him as a icon in the world of business now. So they head out, they begin to brainstorm. He calls in Marcus Lomminus, who is also another guy who has a television show that helps restore and restructure businesses that he invests in. And they come up with about 2 or 3 products, starting out with one, the real deal Holyfield snack bar, which is supposed to be, a healthy snack bar, no preservatives, no additives, yada, yada, yada. You eat it, you're getting the real deal of snack bars, of healthy, nutritional bars. So that is not a problem either, and as time goes on, they come up with a few other things, products. So now they move from that brainstorming to taking it to the street to kind of doing some testing and kind of seeing what people would be interested in. But once they go into the boardroom, that's when I begin to take real serious note. Everybody is white that's around Evander Holyfield. Nobody is from the culture. Nobody connects with Evander the way that black people connect with one another. So now Evander Holyfield, who in most regards would be considered a dumb jock, he just screws, made children, and boxed and made a lot of money, didn't come from a area where he could make, let me say that again. He didn't come from a well-endowed family. His mother was single. She raised 9 children. And she did the best she could by giving him and his siblings whatever little bit of knowledge that she had acquired as a single mother of 9 kids. He just happened to turn up rich, so that worked in her favor because he was able to pull her out of the poverty-stricken jobs that she had been working in. But he didn't really gain education. Like, there was no college background for Evander Holyfield. Now, Alex Rodriguez probably, in most accounts, and let me see here, had the opportunity to go to an institution. And let me see here. Let's see, did this brother go to school, man? Let's see, Alex Rodriguez. I don't think, it's not showing me. I'm looking up Alex Rodriguez to see if he went to college. Which in most cases, unless he got recruited straight out of high school and turned up a star. So no, it looks like he may went to the University of Texas Rangers, and played baseball out there, which means that if he went to college, he acquired some level of knowledge, some higher degree of knowledge. Evander Holyfield didn't. Mike Tyson didn't. I don't know if Buster Douglas did. I don't know. Larry Holmes probably was the only one out of all of them. I'm thinking, is it Larry? Yeah, it may be Larry. Was the only one out of all of them that may be a little bit more business savvy. Let's see. Ooh. But regardless of whatever the case may be, I don't want to be in here leaving too many gaps. As they moved into the boardroom became Snow White. There is no cultural identification with Evander, the product, and the people on the other side of the table. So now the people that are actually helping him to build his brand and relaunch his image is all Caucasians. And these Caucasians are seeing the business world from one particular angle, in my personal opinion, because the majority of the people that's buying the product, when they look at that particular situation, when it comes to Evander, when it comes to Michael Jordan, when it comes to Kobe Bryant, when it comes to Allen Iverson, when it comes to Mike Tyson, when it comes to you could say Patrick Ewing, when it comes down to Tiger Woods, all these corporate entities see our culture through the eyes of white folk. And they position and set that up with the intent of attracting a white consumer. Again, I said this before in other podcasts, they don't create products and services with black folk in mind. They do not create products and services with black folk in mind, but because they have the dominant share of the market per se, we as black folks, we just go along to get along, and we take whatever they give us. And then these are black men and women, Serena Williams, Venus Williams, yada, 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 the new girl that's 16, 17. We identify with them because they are from our culture, but when the products and the services are really created, it's not necessarily created with black people in mind. And that leads me to the reasoning why Evander Holyfield is looking dumbfounded and looking lost, because he, number one, lacks education. Number two, culturally, there's nobody around him and has not been around him who he can really relate to that can really help step his game up. Now, if you remember the dude that, the old man that they found that was homeless, that was singing, let's see, some years ago, and he ended up on Dr. Phil and ended up on Dr. Phil. He ended up starting out because he had some issues with his family, and they was finna blow him up. until he took on black management. When the black management came in the door and they started putting the 1-2s on the situation, Dr. Phil and them started to pull out. Because that ain't how they operate. They want their people in pocket making sure it goes according to their process and philosophy. So he had a job working as an announcer at a couple of sports games and so on and so forth. Shortly after that, you didn't hear too much about him because they wanted him to do a few things, and his team was advising him that not to do that. So I ain't heard nothing about him. He ain't been on TV no more. I ain't heard nothing about him being an announcer. So he probably somewhere tucked away with a little bullshit job now and lost out on hundreds of thousands, not millions of dollars, because white folk want to be in navigating the shit. The minute you bring black folks in and them black folks ain't work wittable, they cutting them. I just looked in the book today, LeBron James Inc. And LeBron James hired most of his partners, his friends, to help run his company, his business, his athletic brand. But them dudes work hand in hand with other white corporations and corporate entities and corporate people in order to push LeBron's brand to a global market. They can't go in and be selfish and only want to work with black companies because why? Most of these black companies don't have the pull, they don't have the reach, they don't have the resources nor the finances to make that happen. So I'm looking at these pictures. Jimmy Iovine, used to be head of Interscope Records. Him and Dr. Dre had Beats by Dre. Him and LeBron is doing business now. And LeBron got one of his boys, a business manager, whoever that is working hand in hand with Jimmy. That's why he went to LA, so he could get off into the movie game and get off into the scripts and the music and all that other stuff. Because remember, he was fooling with Jay-Z. He had been hooking up with Jay from way back. You dig? And at the same time, he been plotting and planning his next move. So Alex Rodriguez is trying to make Evander Holyfield a businessman. Evander Holyfield is not a businessman. Number one, he lacks the education, whether it be independent or formal, to be able to really navigate the ship. And then there's a certain degree of insecurity Holyfield got because he know he had $200 million and he lost it. He fucked it up. Now he living in a modest little apartment, regular dude. He get his money through, appearances and little promotions and whatever else they do. And he getting a few $100,000 a year and he cool. But at the same time, there's a degree of insecurity because when Alex and Evander took a walk through the park, you seen the guilt, the shame that Evander had, and he was like, man, damn, for somebody to be younger than me, helping me, man, that's emotional for me. And even Alex Rodriguez, seemed like a genuine dude that really want to help. But Alex Rodriguez is in a community of people, aka Hispanic, Mexican, Latino, whatever you want to call them, who works well with white interests, white corporations, because this is the family unit. Asians, Hispanics, white folk, German, Russian, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever, they work cohesively. So all of his contacts, all of his relationships, white folk. And Evander looked out of place. He felt out of place, but they were steadily trying to push him to be more responsible, push him to be more more in control of his brand and his business. But subconsciously, he's not there. His subconscious mind does not have that asset put in it for him to be able to stand on his own and not need Alex and Marcus. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. Now, he may get a little more comfortable as time goes on, but you still have a plethora of things that Holyfield ain't gonna be good at. Running a business is more than just asking questions, more than just looking at the numbers. The numbers is a big part of it, but it's facets to it. You got to educate yourself and grow to a level where you can become a professional. See, Alex coming out of New York, he coming from the Yankees. He's had some higher education. He's been able to be around quality people, and I don't know who his mentors were, business and sports, that he's had time to develop a sense of self-worth, a sense of acquired knowledge and skill sets to be able to run his $200+ million empire. See, Holyfield, it was a machine. And all the machine do is box, make babies and box. Let them guys handle the money. I'm just going to come in here and perform. Tyson, same thing. I'm just coming to perform. When you talk about running a business, being an athlete, being a brand, all that stuff, man, is hard work. And you got to be built for it. So as they go into the boardroom, well, first they went to the branding company who created a new brand. Logo looked good. The packaging looked good. They met again, 4 white males who came up with a new strategic plan to relaunch the nutritional bar with Holyfield's face on it, brand new color. And it looked good. I mean, you can't take nothing from them. They came up with a quality idea. You know what I'm saying? Holyfield seemed to be pleased with the product. Then they moved to the nutritional drink, the powder drink, the sports drink that, he was supposed to get behind, and he liked a few of those. But then Alex and Marcus was waiting on him to come and ask questions like, well, how much revenue, how much profit, how much, income will you generate, and what part of that will you be taking, and what part of that I'll be taking. These are things that you get over the years from practice. I personally think, and this is just me talking, that the cultural difference between white folks and black folks in business makes a difference. If you're not secure in yourself, you're going to get raped. Ice Cube got robbed. He had to go in there with the baseball bat because they was robbing him. They tried to rob Master P. Master P said he sent his accountants and attorneys and lawyers up there to Priority Records, and then the checks got cut because they was trying to steal. They was trying to steal from him too. You understand? They was trying to steal from him too, and whatnot. Who else? Man, the list goes on and on. There's so many people that have been robbed in the entertainment industry. Boxing is a mafia-based game. The mob was running the boxing rings. Muhammad Ali, I was looking at something today. Muhammad Ali, you know what I'm saying? He was they was bribing him. Luckily, he had the Nation of Islam behind him and Malcolm X, but he didn't get as much money out of the game as he should have got. They was stealing and conning him out of bread. You feel me? So it's by design that white folk gonna take from you. And if you don't have no balls and you don't know how to play the game, you really are in a position where you're going to end up broke based off a lack of knowledge. A lack of knowledge is going to end up really, really putting you in a position where you end up at the bottom of the totem pole and pretty much have a fruitless life. Because these people, don't get me wrong, he has brand equity. Alex and Marcus will make money, and it helps Marcus and Alex become more of TV executive producers and grow their brand. But none of this really, in my personal opinion, makes Evander Holyfield a serious businessman, because that takes time. The homeless man I was talking about is Ted Williams. Ted Williams got found out. He got found on the street because he had an incredible voice, and ended up getting hooked up with Dr. Phil and them. But once Ted Williams got with some black folks who was managing and was trying to really get to the money and really do the shit right and really make sure he was gonna get paid, they cut him out the picture, man. Ted, you ain't heard nothing else from Ted. Ted gone now. He out there. Why? Because white folk ain't in the process of letting Negroes run nothing that they trying to make money off of. You see? And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people may, they gotta be made to feel comfortable. If they don't see no pink toe in the background, they ain't fooling with you. A lot of times, they not fooling with you. They need to see they people in your office working. They need to see they people in your management company working. They need to see some accountants and some attorneys and whatnot looking like them in order for them to feel like, okay, well, I got somebody solid that's gonna understand and relate. But if you come pro-black, all black, many folk finna cut you. They finna cut you. We hear nothing about Ted no more. Ted ain't even on the radar now. Because Dr. Phil was finna blow him up until he got with them black folks, the management company, the management team, and they start cutting some of that nonsense out that Phil and them was trying to do. But he might have had to play his hand differently until he got to the money, and then came back and started cutting folks off. So Evander has chose to get in bed with Alex Rodriguez and Marcus, and they're trying to make him into a bona fide businessman who is responsible for his business, his brand, and putting the right people in place. But Evander is from he from the slums of Alabama. It's not in him. His insecurities and his lack of business acronym is what will send him back to the poorhouse. You can't fix something that was never there to begin with. He got to have a whole mental overhaul. His subconscious mind got to be rewired. He actually got to go to work for somebody in business. He actually got to go to the office and really sit down and go through the process and really learn some of the basic fundamental things. Then he'll become that guy. I mean, because as far as fighting, he ain't scared of nobody. That's not an issue. But he do have his insecurities. And insecurities may be, okay, well, asking these questions. Because he was even saying, a lot of times, somebody would steal the money. They've been taking the money. Okay, well, after a while, you just get tired of that. And you like, well, shit, let me just get enough money, to maintain and keep some level of existence. You see? So when you culturally, in my personal opinion, don't have people in the boardroom, in the product room looking like you, I mean, it could at least been one or two, there may be some insecurities. You may be feeling somewhat out of place. Because you got all these people, man, who by most standards are deemed to be specialists with certain skill sets, and you lack none of that. You lack most of that. You lack most of what they bring to the table. So I don't know. I'm sure, because it's the same thing, man. It's like Shark Tank, man. Evander Holyfield, they showed him doing, all three of them, Alex, Evander, and Marcus, pitching to the management at General GNC about the new Real Deal Holyfield nutritional bar. They seemed to like it. It seemed like it was going to go good. And then Evander, he expressed himself because, again, he's a nice guy. I just want to help people. I had to eat a certain way when I was training and yada, yada, yada. And I think GNC is the great place to do business with and put the product out. Now, he's expressing himself like he would talk to somebody on the street because he's an athlete and he wants to make sure whatever athletic product has his name on it, it represents him well. But when it comes down to the numbers part, comes down to the understanding of how the business deals are structured. Okay, dude ain't really there. So now Alex and them got to put these people in place to hopefully manage his business. And then he gains some level of understanding along the way. But I still say, if you going around and everybody you talking to is white, snow bright, you don't see no people that look like you. You don't have no business associations or associates that come from the same culture as you. You gonna feel insecure. You gonna feel detached, and you might not perform your best because white folks sometimes have a tendency to have a superiority complex. You know what I mean? And even some of them Hispanics and Mexicans, they be feeling like they're a little bit better than black folks at times. So that being that Evander Holyfield ain't real educated, he's smart in what he know, which is boxing. But because he ain't really educated and he from, the backwoods of Alabama, it may be a concoction, man, waiting to explode. So check out the show. Like I said, it's something that kind of touched me because I said, damn, the same thing Byron Allen talking about when you go to the boardroom, how they look at you. Now, Alex Rodriguez, being that he's Hispanic, being that he's Latino, in that realm, it's one of them things where it's kind of like we family because, they close to us as far as descendancy wise. We kind of got some lineage and bloodline mixing going on in that arena. But they have always kind of like distanced themselves from black folks. Like, I don't really fool with y'all, but they women be wanting to get with us. So, that's how it go. And in this case, like I said, Alex being a nice guy, and then he got the TV show, and he wants to prove that he can resurrect some people because he's trying to become a business investor, business guru phenomenon. He's walking people through some of the trials and tribulations that they made. So check it out. TV show, man, called Back in the Game. It's on CNBC Prime. With Alex Rodriguez. He's the executive producer and you could pretty much say co-host almost, the host of it and whatnot. Comes on Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, man, I'm Cool Water, the Digital Dope Man. Look for me at the digitaldopeman.com. Check me out at ishiphopdead.com. And peace and stay blessed. Holla.